Okay. My name is Jennifer Clark, and I am interviewing Papa Dan Smith at the Englewood Arts Center in Independence, Missouri, as part of the Midwest Genealogy Center's Community Archiving Day, and the date is May 17th, 2025. So, Papa Dan, please tell us your story about the Englewood area, the theater, the Ben Franklin store, whatever you feel comfortable with.
Well, we came up here often. I lived in the Proctor neighborhood. We moved out of here when I came into the 5th grade, and I went to Proctor Elementary. And we came to the show here, and it was 25 cents. And it was always 25 cents. And the spy flicks were big. And Dr. No and Goldfinger and all that stuff. So it was Bond, James Bond. So when we were 10, 11, all of us, I think, most of us boys, we wanted to grow up and be spies because we thought those sports cars and pretty women was a pretty good way to go. Then the Beatles hit. And then there was the movie Hard Day's Night. And that day, it was $1 to get in to see Hard Day's Night. And it was a big card, and you peel off, perforated was your ticket, and then you was left with a nice 3x5 postcard of the Beatles. And when we saw that the movie started, and the girls screamed from the time it started to the time it stopped. This is a movie. They're not here live. It's a movie. We didn't want to be spies anymore. I grew up, I want to do that. And I've been doing that ever since. And I've played all over the world. And I live back here now after being gone for some time. But my first gig was in that building.
Really?
Yeah, I was 13 years old, and it was 1965, and the Beatles movie Help came out. And there was a band that I was in called the Mandrakes. And we played for 20 minutes before that movie. And the girls screamed the whole time we were playing, and that was cool. And there was the other kids were like, I was 13, the oldest one I think was 17, 18 years old, senior in high school. And we did our 20 minutes and got out of the way, and they showed the movie Help. And once again, the girls screamed from the time it started to the time it was over. It was 1965, I can say. So, but anyway, that was, and then I started playing really professionally in 1966, where it was more normal. But we did get paid $25 to do that 20 minutes. We got $5 a piece, and it was more fun than cutting yards because we'd cut great big yards for $5 back then and thought it was like real money. Also, when the Hard Day's Night came out, the Five and Dime that was next door, all this Beatle memorabilia now was being sold there. So you had the bubble gum with the Beatles cards, just like there was baseball cards. But they also had the Beatle wigs for $2. And everybody was buying these Beatle wigs. And fake cigarettes so you could look like you were smoking. That was the days. But yeah, in that building over there, I would say a lot of people learned how to hold hands and kiss in that building over there. So a lot of dating going on at the Englewood Theater. But yeah, it was every weekend, and you know, there was this place, and then there was the Granada Theater that's no longer uptown. And the Granada Theater was older and had very uncomfortable seats, comparatively speaking, to the Englewood seemed more fancy. And yeah, so that's the scoop at the Englewood Theater. And then as time went on, they made a Grand Ole Opry was going on there, which I was never into country and western, so I never went to that. But it's pretty surprising who's performed in that building. Garth Brooks, Many others, many, many, many others. Even Chris Christopherson performed in that building. But yeah, Brooks, his mother was a recording artist here and lived in Independence. I did not know that until I met the Williams family recently. And, knew of them, but never had really met them during that period of time. And of course, Tuffy has passed away some years back, I believe. But yeah, he made that place happen, and I had no idea. I was raising my kids in Prairie Village, so we didn't pop over here much. But when I was a kid, we rode our bicycles here. We were all over this. You know, you want to know what's going on in a neighborhood? Ask a 10 or 11-year-old kid that's on a bicycle. They know everything that's going on. Or that's the way it was then. I don't know how things are today. It's hard to say. It's a lot different, that's for sure.
Sure, sure. So, do you remember when the theater and the store closed?
Not really. I knew it was going through some transitions, and they had closed the movie theater part of it, and I think that's when the Williamses finally got in there and negotiated putting a live entertainment place. And I think that was in the 80s. And we had moved out to Longview Lake. We had built out there, and then we went from there to Prairie Village. So my folks still lived out here in Independence, but as far as going to a movie theater, we didn't, so this all happened in the 60s when I was very young.
Sure.
Yeah. But I started going in there probably 61, 62. And yeah, I'm 72 years old now. So, been around a little bit.
What would you like to see happen to the theater?
I want to see it become a performing arts theater. And I think, once everything kind of gets into play, the plans that can be laid and the people that can end up being involved, this will become a reality. And the main purchase right now is the theater, but it also comes along with the Five and Dime. So, in the parking lots in the back. And at some point, with the Inglewood Arts Center going here and things going on over there, we're probably going to see 2 or 3 story parking lots at some point. It's, if that activity started being, it could be a parking situation. They're going to be putting one of those circle drives down here pretty soon. I think that's in 26, 27 at the latest. So there won't be any of that stop sign thing going on. And that's going to, they're not going to do it on that end, but I think they're doing it on the other end. And so there's a lot of stuff going on here. And we have a classic old restaurant that's been there for over a half a century. And then I remember we, as boys, wanted to go into the Vivaloir when we were kids. We walked in there, and it was a fancy, antique kind of place, or, we definitely did not belong in there, and they let us know it very quickly. We just walked in there one summer day, and we were escorted out right away. There was things that could get broken in there, Lots of knickknacks and stuff. And I don't recall it being a restaurant, but it probably was, and we just didn't know it. So now I like to frequent that place from time to time. And we got some interesting shops and the galleries and the way things are starting to move along here, I think. But seeing a performing arts center that can hold somewhere between 350 and 410 people, being able to perform in the round and also at the end. Plays, live entertainment of definitely bands and that kind of situation, but also probably living plays as well. Stand-up comedians, whatever is going to, put people in seats. So So I think that would be really, really cool. And I think the way the Five and Dime can be, the way they'll probably section it, and they'll have different types of shops all inside there. So I think it's going to be real cool, and you know, they're definitely on the road of getting that done. So the the way has been paved, so to speak, but there's a long way to go. So needing definitely support from the community and anybody that's ever gone here. I mean, you know, anything. I don't care if it's $5, $10, or $10,000. It does not matter. You know, if you'd like to support Friends with the Inglewood Theater, it'd be, I think, a good thing to do for your community.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate this.
You bet. Thank you.
Great.